Hi everyone, my name is Brittany and welcome back to my channel. And today you'll be watching my birthday vlog.
It's Brittany, bitch.
So nothing particularly special is happening. However, it is my 30th birthday. I definitely thought I would be in a little bit of a different place in my life at 30 years old. Not that I'm feeling like regretful about things, but you kind of just realize how many things you haven't done once you hit certain birthdays. I feel like 25 was one of those other birthdays for me that I was just like, what have I accomplished? And I'm literally a quarter of a century old. 30 is also kind of hitting that way, but I actually didn't really have any good plans for my birthday. I originally did, and then I just ended up canceling all those because I didn't like them. So we're kind of building from the ground up here. I really celebrate a whole month of my birthday. I honestly do, especially the actual week of my birthday. It is just like all hands on deck. It is my birthday. I choose the meals for the week. Everything is all about me, what I like to do, where I like to go out to eat. So it's also been a week of trying to discover what I really truly like, because I eat a lot of my favorite foods a lot anyway. So I'm kind of burnt out on certain things, but something I will pretty much almost never get tired of is sushi. So tonight we're gonna go have some sushi, and maybe tomorrow, which is my actual birthday, we will finally get to do the things I wanted to do, which one of them was go see the Little Mermaid movie. I thought that would be kind of fun because I really want to see the Barbie movie, but that movie is not out until July. So I'm gonna have to wait a hot minute for that one. But I wanted to see the Little Mermaid today, and I thought it was quite fitting because there's a book that I want to read for my birthday that looks a lot like it. And that book is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. Now, this is one of the books that he wrote during COVID and didn't tell anybody about, and he wrote like 5 books out of nowhere. This is a separate novel, but it's in the Cosmere series, it's in the Cosmere world. I haven't read any of the books in the Cosmere. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. I hope this doesn't ruin anything for me because I listened to him read the first couple of chapters online on his YouTube channel, and I fell completely in love with the story. And honestly, I wish he could just like make the audiobook himself, because listening to him read this book was just so soothing and beautiful, and I really fell in love with this story. So I'm really excited to get into this. I actually wanted to start this a couple of days ago, back when, you know, June 1st started, but it just didn't work out that way. I feel like this cover reminds me a lot of like the Little Mermaid vibes. I don't know why it's reminding me of that. I think it's just maybe because there's a couple of different like movie posters back when I was a kid that reminded me of this. I don't know. But that's the plan. And we were supposed to have friends join us for sushi tonight, but I don't know if they'll be able to make it, which is totally fine because it was kind of a last minute thing because we really didn't plan very well for this. For a planner, I did a very poor job this year, but I kind of just felt like I have so many options, and I was trying to think of like what I really wanted to do that I just kind of couldn't decide. But tomorrow, for my actual birthday, I really want to just sit around and read for a little bit. I haven't felt that feeling of just sitting and reading a book for hours and really forgetting where I am in a really long time. And I think a big part of that too is like I haven't found a really comfortable coffee shop to sit in and do that, because every single coffee shop I've been to, like something about that coffee shop is great, but none of them have the full package. Like I need somewhere really comfortable to sit, amazing food, amazing coffee, and an impeccable vibe. The one I'm planning on going to tomorrow has everything but a comfortable place to sit. Like honestly, I love the place. The food is amazing. The coffee is so good, but the seats are so uncomfortable. The chairs are like rock hard wooden benches. They're not comfortable to sit in. And there is some outdoor space, but those are not very comfortable wire seats as well. So I just kind of feel like a little gypped because I really can't find like a perfect place. I really miss one of my old coffee shops in Albuquerque that had like the most comfortable seating inside. I just cannot find a place that has all those things I'm looking for. But I'm gonna try to find that reading vibe of where I used to just get lost in a book and read half of it in one sitting. And I don't know if I need to be around my family for that to happen, because so many of the times in my life when I finished a book, I was at like a family function and I didn't want to talk to anybody for like the millionth time about something stupid. So I just read, and then I would get yelled at for reading. Maybe I'm just looking for those nostalgic memories. Nevertheless, we're gonna go ahead and get on our way to sushi because it takes about 30 minutes to get to the place I want to go out and try, and we're not really sure how long we're gonna have to wait. So we're gonna go do that and then see how the rest of this weekend goes. My birthday weekend started off with some delicious sushi that we wanted to try from this new place for quite some time. And then afterwards went to another place in Cary. And this is a really cute little like cheesecake / pie shop. And it was absolutely to die for. They even had cupcakes, but we ended up getting pie. And I got coconut cream pie and my brother got Nutella pie, and they were both 10 out of 10. And then for my birthday breakfast, I went to Jubala Coffee and got myself a little sandwich and an iced coffee. And then my brother surprised me with these little succulent cupcakes as my birthday cake. They are literally the most precious things I've ever seen. I love them so much. And then for dinner, we went to this delicious French restaurant where I got steak frites and he got beef bourguignon. And of course, my favorite for dessert, creme brulee. I'm just popping in to let y'all know I have not filmed since the first clip, and I've only read 40 fucking pages of this book. It's due tomorrow. So I don't really know how that's gonna work. I would really love to finish it tonight, but I'm really feeling the urge to like play The Sims and finish editing a couple of things because I really have not played The Sims in months and months and months. And I feel like for my birthday weekend, it's well deserved. But at the same time, I have to return this tomorrow to library anyway, so I just kind of like need to finish it, and I'm literally 40 pages in. Regardless of the book, I had a really great birthday weekend. Things did not go as planned, but I did eat a lot of really wonderful food. I did talk to a lot of wonderful people. I was on the phone for an incredibly long time on my birthday, and the longest phone call was actually one of my brothers, and that was a 2-hour long conversation. Yeah, it's kind of funny how people change, because when I was younger, that brother was like very quiet and didn't really want to have anything to do with any of us siblings. So now that we're older, and the fact that he can talk forever is very weird, but like a good weird. And I like the personality change. So 2 hours for that one phone call, and I had multiple others. And I think it's one of those things that my brother and I talked about last year that I just kind of spaced about, but I'm thinking about playing everything around my birthday next year, so that way on my actual birthday, I can just take phone calls, because I literally felt like a secretary. Like, people called all day. I mean, it makes sense. I don't live near anybody. It's just me and Tyler here, so we don't have any other family nearby. And of course, everybody has to call because they're not around to like take you out to dinner or whatever. So I literally talk to like everybody who cares to talk to me on my birthday. And the phone calls are in addition to all the text messages, all the Instagram posts, all of the Facebook stuff. Like, there's just a lot going on, and it's not a really like good day to actually go out and do anything. So I think next year I'm gonna plan a little bit more around that, because I just didn't really get to do everything I wanted to do. I didn't get to do everything I wanted to do today. I wanted to get my nails done. I wanted to get a massage. Those things did not happen, but I ended up seeing The Little Mermaid. So we saw that today, and I actually really enjoyed it. I didn't really have too much to say other than I like the changes that it made, and I think that those changes were actually beneficial, and I'd probably give it like 4 out of 5 stars. Like, I really enjoyed it. It was great, and I think that it was casted pretty well. I'm not a big fan of live actions, but it's probably one of my favorite live actions I've ever seen, if not the best. And I have like never shipped people so hard in my life. I'm just obsessed with Ariel and Eric in this. They were so well done, and you can just really feel the tension. Like, I've never wanted somebody to kiss more in my life. Like, please kiss. It was a fun time, and I would definitely recommend it. All that aside, I really need to find a way to read this, because I need to return it tomorrow. And even if I read it tonight and on my lunch tomorrow, I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to accomplish that. I'm literally 42 pages into this. I'm only on chapter 8, and I also just think that this turned out differently than I was expecting. Not in a bad way, but it's different hearing something being read to you versus like actually reading it and having to get back into it. But I also just have not really been in a reading mood this whole weekend. Like, it just hasn't really been happening for me. So we'll see if I can actually accomplish this. If not, I might just have to like return this to the library and call it quits. But I mean, we'll see how this goes. I don't really fucking know. So it is the day after I was supposed to return this to the library, and I'm still not finished with it. I'm over the 200 page mark, but honestly, this book is reading a lot slower than I was anticipating. I really thought I was gonna fly through this because I love Sanderson's writing, but this time, like, it feels a little bit different. It doesn't feel like a slog to get through. I just feel like I have to like reread stuff a lot, and it's not flowing as well as like I feel like his writing usually does for me. It's really fast. I think it's maybe just because we're in a different fantasy realm too. I'm trying to like keep up and make sure I don't miss anything that's important. But on top of that, I just feel like we're kind of stuck on a pirate boat, which is basically what's happening. So Tress in this, she ends up going on an adventure because she's going to go rescue Prince Charlie. So Charlie leaves to basically go find a wife, and he refuses to like marry a princess. So his dad sends him off to the sorceress and like trades him or something. So she goes off on this trip to basically go get her best friend / lover back. And they were never like lovers. Like, obviously they were just like in love with each other, and they never did anything because he was like the Duke's son and she couldn't do anything with him anyway. But now we're on this fucking pirate ship, and we've had a lot of like different pirate stuff happening. So honestly, it's very similar to The Little Mermaid. So like the vibes were there. I'm just having a hard time getting through this. Like, I feel like I was going to finish this a lot faster, and I'm trying to like force myself to read, and I just kind of get bored and I stop reading. I don't really know why. I just feel like Sanderson's writing this is not connecting the same, but I think it's also because it's being told from the perspective of somebody on board called Hoyd. And there's just like a lot of asides and stuff that I have to like pay attention to. I don't know. Anyway, I'm a naughty noodle. I didn't return it to the library on time, and I guess I'm not, because I'm not finished with it yet. I really thought I was going to finish it today. I just can't get into it. I'll keep you guys updated.
Sometimes my mind is away. I drift into space, don't know where to go. Sometimes I think I'm okay. I'm feeling the same. My reasons are gone. Say my name, 'cause
hot minute since I talked to y'all about Tress of the Emerald Sea. So I ended up finishing this book a lot later than I anticipated. I returned to the library late, like 5 days later than I expected, because this book took me a very long time to get through. And one of those reasons I think is because I just don't think I really like this book that much. I'm really upset about that because I was really expecting a 4 or 5 star out of this. It was kind of like a 5-star prediction for me, to be honest, because I just love Sanders's writing so much, but this did not work for me, like at all. I'm gonna give it 2 stars, which is the lowest rating I think I've given out of any Brandon Sanderson book ever. If I haven't explained this well already, it is a YA fantasy novel that is nestled in the Cosmere, which is like a Brandon Sanderson universe. So we're in this Cosmere and we're following Tress, who lives on this like little rocky island surrounded by the Emerald Sea. Now all of the sea isn't wet, it's spores. So the spores are kind of like sand, right? So she is green sand, and basically the spores each do different things. There's how many different types of seas? There's like 12 different types of seas, I believe. And each spore and sea has its own magical properties. So the spores of Tress's, sea, they can basically grow a bunch of like green vines. So like if you accidentally inhale one and it touches water, you're gonna die. And it's gonna like go through your like sinuses and stuff. So each one is really cool to like figure out what each spore does. That part was interesting. But the whole plot of this is that Tress leaves her little island to go rescue Charlie, who is her like beloved friend / lover. She realizes she loves Charlie, and Charlie's actually the Duke's son, and he ends up having to leave to go find a bride. And Charlie purposely told Tress like, hey, I'm gonna like try not to like be wed to any of these women because I really want you, and hopefully my dad will just give up. Lo and behold, his dad did not give up. His dad just traded him to a sorceress. So the Duke traded his own son to the sorceress and instead brought back an imposter and said, hey, this is my son. He's getting married to this beautiful princess. I really liked the story up to there. I really liked the very beginning of this novel, like the first 50 pages. And then basically Tress has to go on a pirate ship and she has to sail across the seas to find Charlie and rescue him from the sorceress. So kind of like this was like a reverse rescue thing. Usually it's like the maiden in distress or whatever. I like this was switched, but that's kind of where I stopped liking things. Listen, I was so excited for this book. I listened to Brandon read this on YouTube and I was enthralled. I was so excited for this book. I thought I was going to absolutely love this 5 stars hands down, but so many things just did not work about this. This book felt way younger than YA, and there's something wrong with middle grade, but it felt middle grade. And then on top of that, there wasn't any stakes, and even middle grade can have stakes, like Amari and the Night Brothers. That book has stakes and I really feel whenever anything is happening. But for the entirety of this book, I never felt the stakes. I only felt like her motivation to go get Charlie. I didn't feel anything else. And Tress is the only character I really cared about just because she's the only one who was really fleshed out at all. And even then, I still don't really know Tress. I don't really know her much as a character. I know she's just kind of headstrong and wants to save Charlie, and she lived on this tiny little island and loves cups. There's not really that much to know about her. She seems as deep as a puddle. And all the other side characters I really didn't connect to either, other than this like really weird inhuman doctor who's kind of funny. But other than that, like nothing really stands out to me so much. The fact that it's been like 2 weeks since I read this book and I completely forgot that I hadn't filmed this. Like that's the level of forgetfulness. This tone was just too light for an adventure novel. And Sanderson said that he was inspired by The Princess Bride, and this book is basically for his wife. So for that, I'll give him a pass. Like this is a pass for him that he wrote this for his wife, but I just think this was incredibly boring. It's told from Hoyd's point of view, and I don't know who Hoyd is. I know that Hoyd is in the Cosmere, and we find out who Hoyd is later. Like I was surprised to find out who Hoyd was because I just didn't know Hoyd, but he told the whole story and it's from his perspective and he was talking about it, but I didn't really connect with that. I didn't like his perspective. I didn't care for his weird asides and jokes. They didn't connect with me. I found them annoying. They didn't make me laugh or anything. I just felt quite frustrated reading these asides and I was like, can we get to like the fucking meat? Can we get to like what's gonna happen? And I just didn't like the way that his perspective told things. Like I think that's it. And the problem is the whole book is basically told from that point of view. And I didn't mind a little bit of it first, but then it just got really repetitive and redundant and I just really stopped caring. I also didn't expect to have an entire novel on a fucking ship, okay? The entire thing was on a ship. Like, we literally went, like, nowhere else until the very, very end where we're confronting the sorceress. And to speak of the ending, like, it was so easy, I feel like, to have this happen. I didn't feel like, oh my god, they're not gonna get this, they're not gonna fix this. Like, I never felt that. There was even a whole point where, like, they're communicating on these boards, and I was like, and then the sorceress, like, swiped it out of her hand. I'm like, we went through an entire, like, 2 pages of what was happening, and then the sorceress, like, snatched out of your hand. The time thing was weird for me. I feel like this pacing and the timing of this was really off. And I think that's a big part of this was like, I feel like the big things I wanted to see were like totally skipped over. And then we just got so much like boring dialogue and like like her just sitting in her fucking cabin experimenting with spores. And I really just could care less. Lo and behold, I guess Anderson is not always a win for me. I mean, this is literally the lowest rated book I've ever rated his books. So I'm just really disappointed because I read this for my birthday. Like I was expecting to absolutely fucking love this book. I was so excited, like so excited. And it just completely let me down. It just almost didn't have his same voice throughout. It almost didn't feel like he wrote it because it didn't feel very like Sanderson-y. People probably will disagree with me and that's totally fine. I haven't read a lot of his other books. I read basically his entire Skyward series that's out to date. And I read Elantris. And that's it. I haven't read his entire like Cosmere stuff. So maybe that's just how he writes his other fantasy novels. I don't know. This just didn't work for me. I feel like it read a little bit too young with absolutely nothing going on. It just, nothing happened. Like it was so boring. Like we're on a ship the whole time and yeah, the ship gets hit by other things, but like you always know it's gonna get fixed and I never felt tension. Like it's just, we're literally on a fucking boat the entire book. I'm as salty as our sea right now. So I'm just gonna let you go with that. But obviously this did not work out as I anticipated. I honestly wanted to DNF this, but I didn't because I wanted to see it through. But not that it was a regret, but I'm very, very disappointed. I was really hoping I was gonna love this and it just didn't happen. And sometimes that happens and we have to be okay with that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know what you guys have read for your birthdays this year and let me know if you'd recommend them down below. Thanks so much. Have a great day.